Hello, everyone, and good day to you. I hope that you're doing awesome and having a great week, or maybe it's the weekend when you're seeing this. I hope you're having a good weekend. This is Roger with Groovis Games Unlimited, and welcome back to our Solo Crusader play series. And this is the final video in the series, so I greatly welcome you back. And don't fret. Don't be sad. We're going to have a fun time, even though this is the end. There's a lot of cool stuff and fun stuff we're going to be going over. So I greatly welcome you. And again, I hope you're doing good. Okay, so let me kind of lay out our itinerary here of what we're going to do. We are going to, of course, go to Celebration Day, but we're sort of going into turn 16, but it's only going to be for but a few seconds because, in upkeep, as we've been chatting about, the teleport track is going to hit and the heroes will be magically teleported to the village for Celebration Day. So I hope you're looking forward to that. We're going to, of course, spend some time in the village. I'm going to nicely go over everything with you. It's not very hard. It's laid out, of course, in your quick reference guide in the rule book of everything you do. So it's nothing complex at all. It's a very fun part of the game. And then I have a special House of Chance game I think you're really going to enjoy. I'm looking forward to it. And then we'll discuss what happens when the heroes go back to work on quest table 2 and 3 and what you do in preparation in the dungeon. And then I think we'll just wrap it up with a nice final thoughts kind of thing. There's some things I'd like to say to you and what's coming, what's on the horizon, some cool things to talk about. So without further ado, let's get into turn 16 briefly and then Celebration Day. But I want to draw your attention over there to, the Chapel of Light South, because our very awesome friend, my awesome friend, all of our friends, Graham and Eagle Eye Andrew, they pointed something out, so I want to address something really quick with you. And I'm going to apologize again for this. If you remember, and I can't believe I missed this. It was very late. I know when I recorded that last turn. Remember when Zeke was over here and I was moving him? This trap right here, this was on the reverse side. Of course, it was right here. And you know what, guys? I must have been anxious for the turn, maybe tired. And I went over that trap. And I'm sorry I didn't stop and reveal that. But as it may, when Graham and Andrew pointed that out the next morning, when I saw that, I came over here and I flipped this over and it was a clear symbol on the trap. And if it was a trap, I would have just said, hey, there's a trap. And I've actually would have kind of rewound the churn and we would have dealt with a trap. And, of course, and if it was, that probably wouldn't have happened with the incantation track. But I just want to be very honest with you and say, I'm sorry, I forgot to hit this. I always try to do good videos for you guys and not mess anything up. So it was my one screw up for this video, but not really a screw up because it was a clear trap. And of course, when you reveal that, your hero can proceed with his movement. But I did want to point that out and apologize. Okay, so now let's start the upkeep phase, but with Resurrection of Zeke. And always remember, when you have a hero who was killed on the previous turn and they're in the Resurrection Altar, kind of like right before upkeep, you always res that hero or heroes. Hopefully there's not multiple heroes, but you always do this first and then you go into upkeep phase. Or you could think of it like this. You always res a hero at the very start of the upkeep phase, okay? So as you know, if you've seen a few times already, the white D3 represents health and essence restored to our hero, and the red D12 is health restored to our hero, and the orange die is essence restored to our hero. So we're going to stand him up, and we'll just roll this first. I got to go grab this player board. So in the white D3, oh, that's great. Okay, so there's 3 health and 3 essence already has been restored to Zeke. Then we'll roll these 2, and hopefully it doesn't roll off the table. Oh, that's great. Okay, 7. And so that is 4. Still good. So that's 10 health and 7 essence. That's very good. Let me grab the player board and I'll be right back. And I have his player board right here, and we have restored, well, and always remember, even though that came up with 10 health, remember where the white circle is, that's their maximum health for this level. So we can only go as high as that. So 8 health was restored to Zeke, and of course 7 essence. Okay, and then like we discussed, it's thought of that the heroes have soul stones, so we can put Zeke adjacent to any other hero in the dungeon. So let's do that. And how convenient, because Matari and Mahaliak were in this chamber in the Well of Eternity, so we're going to place Zeke just adjacent to them, and they're all together. Okay, so now we are going to start upkeep, and basically we're just going to head over to the teleport track and get that going. Okay, and here we are at the teleport track, and just looking at our handy player reference card, we're going to be, of course, interacting with the teleport track. Simply, you're going to take a red token and put it on teleport, because remember, all of our quests are complete right here. Teleport track is filled, so we are going to teleport our heroes to the village board, and that will be happening in 3, 2, 1. And here we are in the village for Celebration Day. The villagers are cheering, everyone's elated. The hero and his mercenaries have cleared the dungeon of the evil for the moment. Okay, so this is Celebration Day, so picture that. It's a grand feast, a festival to welcome the hero and mercenaries back. All right, so let's begin. Now, first of all, we're playing, of course, the Solo Crusader mode, and before we get into this, now that this is wrapping up, as I've said, that I'm going to be working with some very awesome people full-time in February and March as we wrap up everything and get into production. However, there is a lot of people who want to play the Solo Crusader mode, and thank you. I'm just so grateful to you. I've already written the rule set. I've added some enhancements in. I'm working with the amazing Ilpo and a few others. I'll be doing the graphic design. That will be made available to you so you can download it and play it with, the final rules with the nice graphic design. And of course, you will be getting a mercenary camp mini board along with the download. So you'll have all of that in the very near future. I'm going to work, as quickly as we can so you can have that. Okay. Before Celebration Day really begins, I'm going to highly recommend, this is the first thing you're going to do if you're playing the Solo Crusader mode. We have to repopulate the mercenary camp with level 2 heroes. Okay, since we're going to be going into quest table 2, level 2, we're going to populate the mercenary camp with level 2 mercenaries. So what I did was, now I don't know if you have the hero expansion, like Dungeon Crusade comes with 6 heroes already, but then there's that expansion that gives you an additional 6 heroes for a total of 12. I should start with this. I already have Mahaliak, Zeke's, and Matari's level 2 hero cards set aside. And of course, on the reverse side is level 3. So I just want to let you know, Mahaliak's our hero, these are the 2 mercenaries. So I do have those set aside. The other ones here are the 9 other hero cards, mercenaries for the Solo Crusader mode. So what we're going to do is we're going to populate the mercenary camp, or you're going to be also populating the mercenary camp. So I would recommend following this video for what I'm doing, and just so it's streamlined and you kind of know exactly what you're going to be doing. So go ahead and just get all of your additional hero cards, whether you just have the base game or you've got the expansion. So you're going to get all of them, and what I do is that famous D6 trick. We're going to roll. Okay, we're going to go 5 down, and we're just going to grab the 2 mercenaries that's going to populate the dungeon or the mercenary camp. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it's going to be our Paladin, Carrick Rowan. Very good one. He has a nice healing ability. And Kane Redfeather. He is our Ranger, and he has got an awesome ability I created for him called Hidden Dagger. And I was inspired by the first Lord of the Rings movie. If you saw the battle with Aragorn and Lurtz at the end of it, when Aragorn pulls that dagger out of his boot. I love the Lord of the Rings movie. So these are our two, so we can just put these aside for now. So these are our two mercenaries, level 2, that will be populated in the mercenary camp. Bear with me, I'm going to grab their miniatures and their level 2 special ability cards, okay? I'll be right back. Okay, and of course here is our mercenary camp, and here is Kane. Got a nice visual of him. That's our ranger, and hopefully it stays right there. And here is Carrick, our paladin, so we'll place them there. So these are our level 2 mercenaries who are available. I'm going to carefully set this over here. Now, this is where you have to make a decision. Actually, before we make a decision, I'll show you these. And remember, you're going to set these in the academy right over there. Just point you down as a reminder. So these are going to go in the academy. So here, if you'd like to see, these are the special abilities for Kane, Redfeather, our ranger, of course, you know, counterattack, spiritual endurance, and then there's that hidden dagger I was telling you about, and then Shadow Stalker. And this is a very fun ranged ability. So, and I meant to mention this before when I said getting the level 2. In Dungeon Crusade, because say we did hire Kane, he's level 2. He can't just jump to a level 2 special ability. He would have to, go in succession. So he would have to, say he was going to get Hidden Dagger, he'd have to get the level 1 ability, and then the level 1, noted right here, and then he could get level 2. And that's what's nice about the Solo Crusader mode. You're going to notice that heroes have more life force. The XP, in other words, but the life force. So you'll be able to spend this to level them up. And you can buy these freely, as we'll discuss on Celebration Day. You don't use Enlightenment. Your hero can just go over here to the academy and just pick up special abilities. So I just wanted to go over those with you. So remember, they go in succession, level 1, then level 2. So we're going to place these in the academy for our new mercenaries. And then we'll go over Carrick Rowan, our paladin, counterattack, of course. And his 3 special abilities are Holy Guardian, level 1, level 2. Healing Hands, that's the spell, or the healing I was talking about. And finally, Consecrate Ground, level 1 and 2. And we're going to place those here. Now, before we get into the regular activities for Celebration Day, there's a decision you kind of have to make now, and this is in regards to your 2 mercenaries you have now. If you're going to retain them, if you're going to keep them with you, that's totally fine, but you have to pay kind of like an upkeep charge so they stick around in your party. So, and this is very simple. Let's take a look at the mercenary board, and of course this is in the rule set for Solo Crusader. It's not very hard at all. So, and as you expect, if mercenary is going to stick around, they're going to want, some gold for that. So notice the chart right here. Remember when we hired them in, that was the charge for that, 300. So say we keep them and they level up to level 2. You can level up heroes during Celebration Day. You have to pay half of this rounded down. So that would only be 200 per mercenary. Or you can just, say, well, you're not needed anymore. I'm going to hire new mercenaries. Remember that you get to keep that gear. They just leave with their, starting weapon if they still have that, and their special abilities. But your hero retains the gold and any kind of loot they would have had, okay? Because remember, you're only allowed to hire 2 mercenaries in the Solo Crusader mode. So that's something you may want to think about. And you don't have to do it right away, but it's if you're going to level up your hero, it's something to remember. If you're going to hire a new mercenary, or if you're going to keep your existing ones and just level them up, there is that little upkeep charge, I guess you could call it, with that. So I wanted to discuss that with you. So now, with that being said, let's move on to the regular activities for Celebration Day. And I was just going to put them in there, but I just want to show you, just in case we decide to keep Zeke and Matari, and I'll be honest with you, I've got kind of attached to them. Even though Carrick would be good to hire him because he has that healing spell, I've kind of gotten attached to our mercenaries. So I think I'm going to, if we were going to continue, I would probably just keep them. But I'd always keep an eye on the mercenary camp and think, well, maybe we might get Carrick in here because he's got some really good special abilities. But again, you have to look at their warfare types, for what they're strong in. So that's something else to consider. Just another cool part of the game. But what I was going to say is you're going to take your current mercenaries' special abilities for Zeke and place them also in the academy. And then, of course, Matari's. And remember, since our hero is Mahaliak, his level 1 and level 2 and level 3 are already in there. And you know what, real quick, someone asked me, who was this? Who asked that question? Was it Ruben? It was a while ago. But he said, in regular Dungeon Crusade, because you're controlling multiple heroes, you randomly select 2 of the 3 special abilities for that particular game. But in Solo Crusader mode, because you have, a hero and, 1 mercenary or 2, you are permitted to put all 3 special abilities in the academy. So I just wanted to point that out. Okay, so let's get on with now. We've discussed this for the Solo Crusader mode. This, of course, will be in the rule set, nicely laid out. So let's get into the regular activities now for Celebration Day. Okay, so at this time we are going to get into Celebration Day, and this is in the quick reference guide and, of course, in the rule book. And like I just said, if you're going to be playing the Solo Crusader mode, what we just talked about, you're going to do that first, as I think there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be playing the Solo Crusader mode. So again, I'm very grateful. I'm glad you're enjoying that. So picture it like this. What we're going to do is there's kind of 3 phases to Celebration Day, or at least how I'm going to discuss this so it's very easy for you to understand. And remember, the game is kind of like on pause, so there's no rushing. You can just chill out, relax. There's no timer or anything like that. So let's break it down like this. Celebration Day, there's going to be 3 phases. The first phase, there's a few steps you do every single time. Right off the bat, it's listed, here, and I'm going to take the time to break each individual thing down for you because, I care about you. I want you to know about, everything perfectly in this game. So this first phase, what I'm about to say, these next few steps, you're going to do this every single time before anything else. And it's very easy, guys. Very easy. The second phase is kind of like the heroes. Picture it, they're going to wander around the village to these different buildings and services, the House of Chance and the temple to get, services there, the bazaar, the tavern, the blacksmith, so on and so forth, the academy. So that's just like, almost think of it like in an MMORPG or like a video game sense. They're just strolling around the village, seeing what's going on. So that will be kind of our second phase we're going to talk about. And then the final third phase is when the heroes are about to go back to the dungeon to go try to accomplish their quest for Quest Table 2. And that is like set in stone, steps you take as they go back. So hopefully that plan is laid out. I think that's the best way to do that. So let's get on with the first thing you do kind of in phase 1 of Celebration Day. And the first thing you're going to do in this kind of phase 1, as we're calling it, of Celebration Day is the villagers are going to give the hero and the mercenaries a Celebration Day gift. And this is simply, you just draw a card, guys. And, picture they're happy to see the mercenaries and hero back. There's a big festival. There's a huge feast. So they're giving them a gift. You simply draw a card and then process it and shuffle it back into the deck. And I want to say something about these. I don't want to spoil it for those of you who don't know. I'm going to be creating new Celebration Day gift cards. Same design, but new gifts that the heroes are going to get, and they're going to be very awesome gifts. These villagers are going to be very grateful and give them some awesome stuff. So those of you who know what's in here, you know what to expect, but there's going to be some fun stuff in here. So basically, just like I said, you draw the top card, and for this particular gift, we can read it here. The villagers have gathered together to give the heroes 500 gold. And you can see a cool little illustration there with the villagers cheering, and everyone's happy, and there you go. So they have banded together, and they're going to give the heroes 500 gold. Take this card and shuffle it back in, and it's as simple as that. Okay, we're going to move on to the next step, and I'll go grab the 500 gold. And the next thing we're going to do in this phase 1 is collect any reward from a tavern task. And I just want to show you real quick, going back, we have that 500 gold from the Celebration Day gift card. Now, if you're playing solo, you can do what you want with this. If you're playing with a group, that's up to you guys. You decide how you want to divvy up a Celebration Day gift. But there's some very cool stuff in there. So I just wanted to show you, and I'll just put that here in the village for now. So I just wanted to make mention of that. But the next thing you're going to do is turn in a tavern task card. And if you remember, we had this at the beginning of the game. This is Hanno Lithgar, kind of a legendary hero, one of the characters I created for the game. And there have been these orc minions raiding the village. So he is, the task is the heroes need to slay 4 orc minions to lessen the raids in the village. You will pay the heroes 500 gold and give them 1 rare item from the blacksmith shop for free. And I believe we've only killed 2, so we can't really churn this in yet. So we're just going to hold on to this till the next Celebration Day, and then we could churn in our tavern task card. And there's, of course, the reverse side of it. And just know, you don't have to complete a tavern task card. These are completely optional. So you don't think you have to do these. You don't have to. This is just to net your hero and mercenaries some additional life force. Like right here, this will give the heroes 4 life force. And of course, those rewards that Hanno will give the heroes. So, but once you do churn this in, you just place it back in your game box. And I think we killed 2 orcs so far, so we have to kill 2 more. So I'll set this aside. Also at this time, remember, we're going to turn this in right now. Remember that we had this bounty board where the village was paying 100 gold per minion slain to a maximum of 10. So I had the red markers here on that, and there were 3. And I already took out the 300 gold. Just wanted to show you. So there's the 300 gold for the heroes. So I just threw that in with the tavern task, and you may want to do the same for any type of events like this or environments. No spoilers, there could be more. So we're going to process this right now. You're going to take this card though, and just as instructed, do what it says with these types of cards. Okay? And on to the next step. Okay, and our next step is we're going to churn in any completed quests from, of course, quest table 1, or if we would have completed that one from the level 2 quest, remember where we had to go into those chambers and kill level 2 champion monsters. We didn't complete that. So at this time though, whatever Albus didn't churn in, remember that we had him churn in the Baron's wine for us, and he brought that gold back. But this one here, we had Chambers of the Corrupt, where this young captain of the Avalon Valiant Army asked the heroes to clear that area in the Tomb of St. Viticus, north and south. So we did that, but we did not get the reward for that. So, and I'm glad this came up so I could just show you. So the reward was 300 gold, but remember, at Life Force XP, you just get that instantly when you complete a quest. But physical rewards, you have to have Albus collect from the village, or as we are now in Celebration Day. So 300 gold for that. And I have the 300 gold here. And I'm just going to put this over here in the village by Maheliak. The heroes are doing incredibly good with gold. Okay, And that's it for completing quest. We're going to move on to the next. Okay, and the next step for our phase 1 is the blacksmith is going to get new inventory, or we're going to restock his shop. And this is always a fun part of Celebration Day, to see what new gear is going to show up in the blacksmith shop. So what we're going to do is I'm going to grab our very huge and handsome loot deck right here, and just going to give it a quick shuffle. And I'm going to try to place it right here so you can see. Hopefully we don't knock too much stuff over. And in the rule set here, it's clearly defined what you do. You're going to take 1d6 and you're going to add 5 to the result. And quite simply, that's what the blacksmith got in his shop. That's like the new inventory that he got. So you got that? So we're going to roll the d6. Try to roll it here. There's only 6 new pieces of inventory. Do you see how that works? Remember, you take the result plus 5, draw from the deck. And let me say this now: if any junk loot shows up, or the black level of those underworld artifacts, those don't count. You're going to shuffle those back into the deck. Okay? Hopefully one comes up so I can show you, but it's pretty simple. So the blacksmith is going to have 6 new pieces of gear, new inventory. So we'll take a look here. So there's 1. Okay, so that's an outlaw blade. That's uncommon. Nice, with mythical. So we'll set that right here in his shop in the uncommon. So that's 1. Next is a common, a white piece of gear, Thieves' Garb, another mythical buff to this piece of gear. That's 2. And oh, here we go. Amulet of Divine Chaos. This is legendary, orange. Look at that, chaos and spiritual, plus 5. This is a necklace, of course. See right there. Necklaces are really good because it gives you that dual buff to different warfare types. Very nice. Put that in legendary. So this is the 4th piece. Okay, Valiant Sword. This one might be good for what, maybe Mahaliak. And this is, of course, uncommon. 2 damage and plus 2 to physical. So put that in uncommon. So this is our 5th piece of gear. Pendant of Dark Malice. And what's that? Another piece of uncommon there. So again, these two things will buff your mythical warfare and chaos, plus 2. Nice pendant. And finally, our last piece is, okay, perfect. This came up. Remember our fake ruby stone ring? This goes back into the deck. And I thought we pulled this before. Maybe this got accidentally put back in, but I'm glad this came up. So this does not count. We're going to shuffle this back in. And remember, if an underworld artifact would come up, you're going to shuffle that back in also. So let's draw. And look, a cracked shield. There's another piece of junk loot. I think we were showing some of this off, weren't we? And well, there. Okay, how nice is this? This is Ashar's Scepter of Truth. And now notice something. I'm very happy this came up. And I think we talked about this before. There's 10 pieces of fabled gear in the game. And when I wrote the story to Dungeon Crusade, there's all these different characters. Like this is Ashara, and she's the wife to Emperor Sylvian. And they have an 8-year-old daughter, Mallory. Mallory's golden bow. That's that character. So this belonged to Emperor Sylvian's wife, Ashara, and this is a very awesome weapon right here. So remember, when fabled gear shows up, it's good to spend the extra gold because it carries a higher gold cost and get this. But you'll notice there's these like gold accents that I put all around everything just to denote that this is a nice piece of loot. So of course that's rare, and we'll put that into rare. And guys, that's about it for restocking showing you new inventory for the blacksmith shop. Okay, and we're going to move on to the next step. And we are at the final step for this phase 1 of Celebration Day. And I've been saying this all along through our gameplay. Remember our bazaar and how we were setting them kind of, you can see them kind of up there. We're simply going to restock the bazaar. So think of it as they've created new consumables for the hero and the mercenaries. So we'll take our torches, put them right back here. Elixir potions go right here. Ochre juice. That restores a hero's essence. We'll put that here. And thank God we have healing potions back. So all of that now is restocked in the bazaar. Okay, so we are going to move now into phase 2, and this is kind of like the free roam. This is where kind of, everything's still on pause, and the heroes are going to walk throughout the village. They're going to go to different services, and we'll get into that right now. Okay, even though, this is kind of like the free roam over the village, there's something, and it's in the quick reference guide in the rule book, right at the very top. This is where you are going to make that decision about leveling up. Or at least I highly recommend to do this right now. It costs 4 life force tokens to level up your hero and mercenary. Something to note though is and we're going to level up Mahaliak, and we'll use him as an example. When you level up in Dungeon Crusade, they keep their essence level and health. Okay, it does. I know in like some games, like in MMORPGs and definitely Diablo, it automatically levels up. And I have a reason why I did this. To me, the heroes have just went through like hell in this dungeon, battered and everything. They are stronger, right? They have more experience. They're more adept now at fighting, but therefore they need to rest. They need to recuperate to get their health up. They've leveled up, they've gotten better. That's why I made that decision in the game to use the services of the village to rest and heal and get stronger as you level up. But of course, as I've always said, guys, if you want to house rule it where you're like, Mr. Grubus, I don't want to do it that way. When I level up, I want full health and full essence. Friends, go ahead and do that. That's no problem at all. But to me, to make it more thematic and realistic and just the way that I have always thought of it, that's how it is. So let us level up Mahaliak first. Let's go through that, and so I can show you exactly what we're going to do. Let me grab his hero card and his level 2 hero card. Okay, and we have his level 1 hero card in these absolutely awesome player boards from Kevin Sims at Fun and Practical. Yes, I still love these. And I think we're going to use him as an example to go through the different services, to get him, when he levels up to level 2. So as you can see from that last battle, he is at 1 health and 1 essence. So I'm going to get his level 2 card. I'm going to slip this out of the player board, and then I'll be back and we'll discuss, what we're going to do. Okay. And I just wanted to get this ready to show you. So we're going to take out his level 1 card. And in case you don't know, though, on the back of the level 1 cards, I worked with just some of the most amazing people, and I wanted their input. I wanted them to help create, the land of Avalon and the lore. So we had, it was called Create a Hero Packages, I called it, and they were absolutely free. There was no charge for this. And we worked with Justin, I think you've been watching the series, and a few other people, and they got to write a backstory. And it was just my way of saying thank you, for your support in the game, and I want to make you part of it. And I will say definitely for the expansion, there are going to be new heroes, and I'd like to do that again for you guys. So there's never any charge for that. That's ridiculous to charge someone for their creativity and imagination to be a part of this. So that will be coming. But you can read on the back of these the story that these people wrote, and it was just very awesome. And then just real quick, here's their special abilities and the village that they hail from. So I don't know if I talked to you before about that, but it's kind of cool to read the stories. And I will say I did write the backstory for Albus. I think you'll enjoy that. So quite simply, we're going to level him up. And remember, it costs 4 life force tokens. I'm going to set that aside. And we're going to get his level 2 hero card. Now, before I put it in the player board, level 3 is on back. And I want to say this before I forget. This is, of course, in the rule set. You can never out-level what quest table you're working on. So, for example, when the heroes go back to the dungeon, they're going to be working on quests for quest table 2. Well, they're kind of locked at level 2 When they go back for the final celebration day, they're of course going to be working on quest, going back to the dungeon for quest table 3. At that time, they can level up to level 3. But let me say this, no spoilers. I created certain events somewhere in a few places in the game where your hero can level up to the next level without those restrictions. So there's a couple surprises in the game for you. I'll let you figure out what those are. But as it is right now, Mahaliak we've played the 4 life force. He is level 2, and we can see that his attributes have gotten better here. His warfare types have gotten a little bit better. And of course, he has more health now and more essence. So let me slip this into these awesome player boards here. Okay, so now, like I said, hopefully you like the sound of that. You know, he was kind of beaten and battered, but he's more experienced. You know, he's gotten stronger. So he needs healing, he needs to rest to fully regain his health and essence. Let's make a stop by the temple, and that way we can just show you exactly, you know, how this is done. And I want to point something out. You could do this. I don't recommend it. You know, Mahaliak could always go over here to the bazaar to buy healing potions, but you don't want to do that because you want to save those for when they return to the dungeon. It's much better for have your hero or mercenary visit the temple down here. So I can point you down there and get the healing from here. So let me readjust the camera and let's get Mahaliak healed up. And boy, the camera really agreed with me tonight. This is the perfect placement so we can discuss a lot of, you know, our free roam in the village and some services that the temple offers. We're going to do actually a couple things here. I want to make mention of something that I'm glad that this came up. Remember that Mahaliak had the blurred sight affliction. He also had an elixir potion. I'm very happy this came up. As you see here, one of the services that the temple offers is to cure all afflictions, 100 gold. Well, we can save that 100 gold because he is just going to quaff down this elixir potion. And remember, this is free roam. You know, the heroes are just walking around. So he's just going to quaff this down now. And then simply, I'm just going to go over here. You can just place this back in the bazaar. There's no need to, you know, set it aside. It's just considered, you know, it was refreshed since the heroes are here in Celebration Day. So I'm going to put this back over here in the bazaar, and he is cured of that affliction. Okay? So let's take a look at this, the other services that the temple offers. Blessings are 200 gold. We're going to discuss that in a moment. We're definitely going to get blessings for all our heroes. Well, our hero and 2 mercenaries. Healing fountain, 100 gold. Restores full health to 1 hero. Well, we're definitely going to do that. That's why I said don't, you know, go over to the bazaar with your hero and buy a bunch of potions. You can come right down here to the temple, pay 100 gold, and boom, they're done. So I'm going to take 100 gold from our stash up there. And with that, Mahaliak is going to be healed to full health. And hopefully I can get this in there and show you. He has got a lot of health now. So he's doing really good. The other thing is, and I think we discussed this before, the last service here is a blessing. The heroes can pay 200 gold to receive a blessing. And the big rule is, guys, remember this. You can pay for the blessing. You do not reveal it in the village. It must be revealed when they go back to the dungeon. That's black and white, cut and dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give this a quick shuffle back here so you can see. Then we'll reveal this. I know you guys will probably want to know what it is. So, but remember, there's all different kinds of angels in the game that I created. But then there's also despair, where kind of your blessing didn't happen. So I'm going to again take the 200 gold, pay that to the temple, and basically just put it back in your storage area, whatever you're using. And we're going to take a blessing. I'm not going to reveal it. I'm going to put this in his player area, and we'll see what he gets when we close everything out for this video. Okay, so that's about it for the temple, and I'm glad we're doing this. I like kind of using him as an example. Next, let's go over to the tavern and have him sleep to regain his essence. Okay, next up, Mahaliak decides to roam over here to the tavern, and he is going to, like it says, rent a room and sleep. And that's going to fully restore his essence. 100 gold per hero. So we're going to take another 100 gold from that. We're going to pay it to our friendly tavern here. And he's going to sleep. And of course, he's going to restore all of his essence. So there you go. So Mahaliak is doing good. And so I'm glad that I went through this. Remember, don't go to the bazaar and buy Ocher juice potions and healing potions. Just go to your tavern and the temple and use the healing fountain and sleep at the tavern, and your hero is good to go. Okay, I'm going to pull the camera back and let's go over our mercenaries real quick. Okay, let's go over our mercenaries now, and I'm going to do this very quickly since since I already showed you with Mahaliak. And remember, up here in the corner of the village, there is the House of Chance, and I have a very special House of Chance game we're going to be playing shortly. I think you're really going to enjoy this. But for now, let's level up our mercenaries here. Now, kind of like since Mahaliak is our hero and hired them, they're all getting along, and we're definitely going to retain these two mercenaries, but maybe at a later time we'll dismiss one of them and we'll get Carrick the paladin, or maybe Kane our ranger. But for now, we're going to level them up, and again, remember, we're going to have to pay that upkeep or that charge to keep them in our service. So I have that. Whoops. So remember, it's half of the cost for a level 2 rounded down, which is going to be 200. We're going to keep both of them, right? So I'm just going to take 500 gold, turn that in to the mercenary camp, and get 100 gold change. You see how that works? Okay. Next thing we're going to do is, yes, we're going to level them up now. And since remember, it's 4 life force tokens to level up each hero, and I simply just grabbed a 5 and a 3, which is 8. So bear with me. I'm going to swap out their hero cards, and then we'll go over to the healing fountain in the temple, and then we'll shoot up to the tavern for them to rest to regain their essence. I'll be right back. Okay, and we have leveled up Matari. She's level 2 now, so you can see how she has a lot more health and of course a lot more essence. But again, we're going to be visiting the temple for the health and the tavern in a moment, and we have leveled up Zeke to level 2. So our mercenaries, we're going to keep them, and we're going to get them fixed up right now with some healing and sleep at the tavern. So remember, it's like free roam. So picture Zeke and Matari are going to come over here to the temple. Maybe there's priests there, clerics, and they're going to use that healing fountain, and it's 100 gold per hero. So Matari will use it first, and she now has full health from using the healing fountain. Then of course Zeke is going to pay for that. Make sure that comes into focus for you guys. There it goes. 100 gold, so he can use the healing fountain. Okay, and now he is at full health. So Matari and Zeke are doing good. So now they're going to head way up here to the tavern, as I'm going to point you over there. Their card. Okay, and here they are at the tavern. Matari right behind Zeke. And they're going to rest, sleep, and regain their essence. So Zeke pays the 100 gold to the tavern. Matari, they take a snooze. They wake up rejuvenated and with full essence. So Zeke is all set, and Matari is all set. And there you go, guys. That's how that works. I think that was pretty easy, right? Pretty simple. So our hero and 2 mercenaries are all level 2 now. They can equip level uncommon and actually rare. So that opens up to them, because remember, it's tier 2 gear. They're level 2. So we're going to definitely do some shopping. And remember, they have some other gear that we'll go over. But hopefully you saw how just these services work and how to, heal up your heroes and restore their essence. Okay, let's move on to the next thing we're gonna do in the village. Okay, next up in kind of our free roam through the village, I think Matari wants to get her level 2 to Enchanting Hymn. So she's gonna head down here to the academy, and we'll go through the cards. And of course, remember, you can go through these, you don't have to take the top one. Just want to say that in case someone didn't know. So here is the level 2 of Enchanting Hymn. And as you can expect, you're going to pay a little more essence to activate this. It's going to cost 4 life force points for her to acquire this. Same way it's used, but now it's going to be, it's going to have a bigger radius, and they're going to gain a bigger buff to Enchanting Hymn. And this is a really good one, guys. If you're going to be using Matari, this is one of the first special abilities that I would recommend getting. So remember, she already has level 1, so she can acquire level 2. And there's a reason I'm saying this, and that's coming up. So let's pay that 4 life force to get that. And so I'm going to take a 5 token and then just get 1 back for that. Okay, so now she is proficient at, very proficient at using Enchanting Hymn. But there's another one here, Twisted Melody. And this is another very cool ability. And I think we discussed this before. And remember, there's that green arrow. You don't have to channel this. Remember, though, she is level 2, and this is the level 2 version, but she can't acquire this yet. She has to get the level 1 first, and then she can get this. And there's no enlightenment. Remember, it's kind of free time in the village, free roam. So you don't have to do enlightenment. So let's go through here, and we're going to find the level 2 version. Or, I'm sorry, the level 1 version of this. And Twisted Melody, it's right here. Okay, so she is going to acquire the level 1 first. Remember, you have to do that in succession. And how much is that? That's going to be 2 life force. That's not a problem. I'm going to use here's 2 of them. Okay, so she has become proficient now from the academy at using Twisted Melody level 1. Okay, so she has that now in her arsenal. But now she even wants to get better at that. So of course now, because she has level 1, she can get the level 2 version. Looking at that, it's going to cost Matari 3 life force to acquire that, and of course 3 essence to activate it. So I'm going to just use a 5 life force token and get 2 back. And she now has Twisted Melody level 2. So she is, if you remember, she's good with mythical warfare, and what was the other one? Spiritual. So she's becoming quite powerful in the game. She's a very good mercenary, and we should probably hold on to her. Okay, let's discuss the next thing we're going to do in the village. And real quickly, I think hopefully you had a good time going over here in the academy. Well, I think Mahaliak wants to get a little more proficient with his intimidating shout, and definitely now heading back for quest table 2, the heroes are going to be running into level 2 monsters and possibly level 3 champion monsters. And if you're using that little mod, there could be level 3 guardians showing up. So we definitely want to we want to make him more proficient at intimidating shouts. So let's go through here and find the level 2 version. And actually we might grab this one too. This is a really good one here, is Frenzied Charge. Let's find level 2 of, here it is. Okay, so now he will have level 2 of Intimidating Shout, 3 life force to acquire it, but only 2 essence to activate it. So I'm going to grab the 3 life force tokens. And there's that. Pay that to the academy. And now he is proficient at level 2 of Intimidating Shout. Okay? And I think if we have enough, let me see if we can get Zeke over here to the academy. Let's get him his level 2 magic missile, because that's another good one to level up. Be right back. Okay, let's get Zeke. So Zeke is gonna mosey on over here to the academy with the rest of the heroes, other mercenary, and he already has magic missile level 1, so he's going to become more proficient. Actually, I have to see if we have to. I got to see the life force cost, because the heroes, remember, this is a collective pool they can all draw from. They only have 3 life force left. So, and I think I was talking to someone about this, but that's why it works so well in Solo Crusader mode. That someone was saying that they were messing around with the Solo Crusader mode. Who was that? It's gonna bug me. But they said they have a lot of life force, but it's because you can acquire more special abilities, so it balances out like perfectly with that. Level 2, and no, it's 4. So we're 1 shy of getting the level 2. But this is, well, if we were gonna play, this is definitely the first thing we're gonna do. But you can see now, this is even more buffed up, and it can go a little bit further than it could before. But now, it has the potential to do 3 damage and 2 splash damage to any minion. So this is definitely, we're going to keep our eye on this. And, if they were going back to the dungeon, and once they get 1 more life force, Zeke would definitely be getting this to become more proficient at casting magic missile. Okay, let's move on to the next service that we're going to go to in the village. Okay, and I think now, why don't the heroes go into the blacksmith shop, and let's discuss buying and selling gear. And I want to say a few things. First of all, I think you can see I'm just having a great time hanging out with you guys. I love Celebration Day. And this part coming up, I would be here 2 hours going through loot and tweaking what I want and all that. I'm not going to do that to you guys. And so we're going to briefly go over it, but we'll have a good time with it. And also, I wanted to make this one video, for Celebration Day, but I think it's going to be a 2-parter. So we'll see what the run time is, but I might just chop it in half, in that, because this is the last video in the series. But I do want to go over this and, say a few things. And of course, we have our House of Chance game. So I just wanted to say that. But I hope you're having a good time, because I'm having just a really awesome time hanging out with you. All right, so the heroes are going to head up to the blacksmith shop here. Remember, free roam, everything's on pause, no timer, relax, spec out your heroes, have a sip of Coca-Cola or elixir, whatever you got. So let's discuss, first of all, let's go over this. If you remember, actually that's a starting weapon, Mahaliax. The 2 mercenaries and Mahaliak acquired some pretty good gear along the way, through the dungeon on our delve. And some of the stuff we could actually equip right now. Because remember, when heroes are level 2, they can equip tier 2, which would be your uncommon green and your rare blue. And they actually have some of this. Let's just put this right here, like the bracers of holy warfare. That's epic. That's purple. We can't equip that yet. Actually, I'm going to set. Actually, just thought of something. We're going to talk about selling gear. I'm going to set those aside. But right now, this is some good gear that we could equip on them, like really good gear. So the Ring of Soulfire, possibly Zeke could take that. I don't know. I guess any of them could use the Ring of the Ancients. There's a buff there for ranged warfare. And then Cat's Eye Ring, that would be good probably for Zeke if we want to boost him up. So we're going to hold on to this. We're not going to sell this, and we're going to be equipping this on our heroes. But let's talk about real quick, selling loot. I don't know if you knew this, but yeah, there's like a whole economy system in this game that I created for it where you could sell this stuff. And I think, I think we're going to do that just to show you this. And notice, here's the gold cost right here. This is a piece of epic, purple, and orange legendary. Well, in your quick reference guide and in the rule book, I created a little chart for you guys. So you could just refer to this and just know the blacksmith, he's pretty stingy. He doesn't, he's out to make some gold. So if you can try to get this thing in here for you, it's kind of hard, but let me see if I can fold it. Yeah, that'll work, I think. See if that will work. It'll do. But yeah, I did this cool little graphic design to kind of just show you the different, hopefully it comes into focus, the different rarities. And then there's that little chart there for what you can sell and the fabled gear and sell like regular gear. So if we look at Epic, the blacksmith will pay 200, oh, that should be in focus, right? Hopefully you can see that. Well, hopefully you can make that out there. But epic gear he will pay 200 gold for, and that legendary he will also pay 200 gold for. So we can basically get the heroes can get 400 gold for that one piece of epic and legendary. And again, I'm looking kind of like right here. So there's that chart for you in the quick reference guide, and of course it'll be in the rule book for you. So let's just go ahead and do that. I'm going to sell this back to him, and you can imagine where to put that. That's going to go back there in his shop. So who knows, maybe you'll want to rebuy it. And take the 400 gold from the blacksmith. He gives that to maybe Mahaliak, since he's the leader, the hero. And they're 400 gold richer. And hopefully I'm going to try to show you. They are doing, I just put all the gold together for now while they're in the village. You know, you can do it, of course, what you want. But Matari, if you remember, was doing really good. So we have the heroes and mercenaries have 1,000, 2,000. These are stacks of 5, 100. So they've got like 3,500 gold. They were very lucky in the dungeon. So I just wanted to point that out to you. Lastly, and this is, I'm not going to bore you with this, even though I'd love to do it. Of course, you can go shopping. And someone had said this a while ago, or there was a few people. Some people thought that you could only take what's on the top or something. You know, of course not. This is like, picture it, you're in a blacksmith shop, okay? And there's all these maybe weapons and armor hanging on the wall. So you're free to, you know, maybe Mahaliak goes over and, you know, is sifting over all the rare, you know, pieces of gear in the section of the blacksmith. Of course, you can go through all of this stuff and look through it. It's free to look through. But again, I'm not going to bore you with this because I will be here forever specking out heroes and selling the other gear and all that. But you can imagine just tons of ways that you can spec out your heroes, okay? So I think that was enough talk of the blacksmith shop. And just remember that there are these services right here, and let me get this in camera. And it's also in your quick reference guide and in the rule book for the blacksmith shop, you know, for creating power gems, sharpening your pickaxe, and then you can sell moonstone, zoltanite, and the precious stones in bulk, and he will also buy that from the heroes. So, oh, actually, now that chart kind of came into focus. So you can see it's nicely listed here, so you can refer to that when your hero and mercenaries are shopping in the blacksmith. Okay, guys, I think that's about it for the blacksmith shop. Let me think, and we'll go over a couple more things, and then we're going to discuss kind of phase 3 when you go back, but then we're going to go to the House of Chance, though, before we leave. So give me a second. And just real quick, I think, and because we're going to reveal it at the end, I think Matari and Zeke now wanted to grab a blessing from the temple, since they are doing incredibly well. They have a lot of gold right now. So remember, blessings are 200, so Matari maybe goes up to one of the priests for a blessing. We're going to pay that 200. Remember, do not reveal this. Take this and place it in that hero's player area. So I'm going to set this down right here. And then Zeke kind of goes up to that maybe priest or cleric, receives a blessing. There's the 200. Take another one, put this in his player area. And I think they're going to head over to the bazaar and pick up some consumables for when they go back to the dungeon. Okay, and Zeke and Matari have headed over to the bazaar to see what kind of consumables they're going to get. Maybe Mahaliak now has made his way over, and he's considering to pick up a few. So, and I just put all our gold here for now. So how about this? I think for right now, since we have so much, why don't we take 500 and 100, so that's 600. And remember, each consumable is 100 gold. And we're gonna buy healing potions, 2 of them, for the mercenaries and Mahaliak. So I'm gonna set these aside for right now, put those here, pay this to the bazaar, set that aside. Again, guys, I'm really having a good time just doing this. I love going over Celebration Day, and of course, when it happens in the game. And how about we'll give the bazaar another 300, and let's buy elixirs. Let's set them right down here on the other stacks. So we'll buy 3 elixirs. And then how much gold do we have left? We have 2,600, I think. And you know what, here, how about 2 more hundred? God, I'm going crazy up in this village. I'm gonna buy 2 torches. The heck with it, I'm gonna buy 3 torches. So we're gonna put that on their stack. So they're doing very good. So each, the hero and the mercenaries now have 2 healing potions, they have an elixir, and they have a torch. We're not gonna buy an Ocher juice because I have to save some gold for this special House of Chance game we're gonna be playing in a few minutes. So, okay, so the bazaar is done, and let me think if there's anything else we're gonna be doing in the village, and I will be right back with you. And actually, sorry, I made a mistake. I did not, of course, reveal this blessing. I'm putting it back only because this was for Zeke. He already has the Angel of Luck, and this is a really good blessing. And I don't want to give you guys spoilers, but like I said, there are a lot of angels in this deck, and there's more powerful angels of like this certain kind. So I'm not going to give any spoilers, but there is other variations of this where it will buff it up even more. But here's the rule, and I'm glad this came up. You can't have 2 blessings at once. You can't trade. I know we talked about this before, but you can't trade a blessing to a hero. That's for that one hero. You can only have 1. So if Zeke wanted to, he would have to, get rid of this angel, discard it, and then he could try for another angel. But this is a pretty good one, and I'm not going to take the risk of getting dismay if we get rid of this angel. So I just wanted to clear that up. So Zeke already has a blessing. I returned it, and I'm going to get his 200 gold back from the temple. And now we are good to go. Okay, I was looking over the different services in the temple, and you know what? I think we did just about everything except up here at the House of Chance, which we're going to zoom in on in a few minutes. But, we went over the academy for you guys. We showed about special abilities. Remember, there's no enlightenment. You just get it and you have it. Of course, we went into the blacksmith shop. I wasn't going to bore you and go through all this stuff and buy stuff. But you saw how that works. The tavern, blessings. And the only other thing was that you probably saw that when we were down here, that afflictions, that you can pay 100 gold and rid a hero of all afflictions. So if he has 1, 2, 3, and hopefully doesn't have 4, that 100 gold will cure all, just like an elixir would cure all afflictions. Okay, so this is kind of like, we're done with this. I'm telling I'm just declaring, okay, so I'm done with everything. So now we're going to move into this phase 3 of Celebration Day. But we're going to come back though, because we're not done. We're going into the House of Chance, but I just want to do that now and get that cleared up before, we go into the House of Chance. Business before pleasure, right? All right, so let's go over phase 3 of Celebration Day and what you do to prepare the dungeon for their second delve.